Comcast is committed to bringing access to the internet to all Americans, including rural communities across the country, like Sussex County, Delaware.
We were being left behind. Everybody around us seemed to have internet, but we did not. High-speed internet is one of those good things that we needed to help us move our farming, our small businesses, our recreation forward.
Learn more about how we're bringing our next generation network to more people across the country at ComcastCorporation.com/investment in America.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Optimal Living Daily. One tragic mistake too many people make every single day, by Marc Chernoff of markandangel.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator. And we're going to get right to it as we optimize your life. One tragic mistake too many people make every single day, by Marc Chernoff of markandangel.com. Busyness is an illness. On a chilly January morning just inside the entryway to a Washington, D.C. subway station, a young man took his violin out of its case and brought it up to his shoulder. He was dressed in regular clothes, just jeans and a t-shirt. And although he had a face many people found attractive, on this particular morning, it was mostly obscured by a dark baseball cap and shaggy brown hair. After plucking the strings for a couple of minutes to tune his instrument, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a few dollar bills, which he tossed into the violin case in front of him, with the hopes that a few passers-by would do the same. It was a very active morning in the subway station as the young man began to play. Thousands of people were busy hurrying to work, school, or wherever they were headed. Trains were coming and going. The morning rush was in full swing. Yet through all the busyness, the incredible sound of this young man's violin filled the subway station. It was impossible to ignore. Or was it? Over the course of 43 minutes, more than 1,000 people walked through the doors of the subway entrance where Joshua Bell was playing. And if he was any other street performer, perhaps it would have been insignificant that he earned the attention of just a few people and just a small handful of change. But Joshua Bell wasn't just any street performer. He was and is possibly the world's most renowned violinist. And he was playing one of the most difficult classical masterpieces ever composed. And that masterpiece was being played on a $3 million violin that emitted one of the most pure, eloquent sounds in the world. Yet, almost nobody noticed. Why? Because he didn't look like anyone special, and because everyone was too busy hurrying to pause and notice the music. Busyness, a tragic mistake on the average day. Think about it. I'm busy. How often is that your excuse? It used to be my excuse every single day. Like those 1,000 people who ran past Joshua Bell's music without a moment to spare, my schedule used to leave me zero time for unplanned presence and awareness. And I was proud of my busyness. I wore it like a badge. I wanted to remind everyone of how tough I had it. I wanted everyone to know how driving from place to place to place in my comfortable Honda was a huge pain in the butt. Not to mention how Angel and I would have to juggle business and family. Helping our course students and readers and then immediately rushing out to buy and wrap birthday gifts, don't even get me started. And then only having an hour to get our son fed and bathed before bed each night so we could get him to sleep and prepare to do it all over again. Didn't you hear me? I'm super busy, everybody. Keep this in mind and have mercy on me, please. Yeah, that's exactly what I used to want you to know about me. But not anymore. Now I actually pause to hear the music, and I'm proud of it. Here's the thing. Busyness is not a badge of honor. There's no honor at all in senseless and endless busyness. And most busyness on the average day is just a tragic mistake that makes life overwhelming. Life quickly gets harder than it should be. If we're not below the poverty line, juggling 3 jobs at once just to put food on the table, then our busyness is self-inflicted 98% of the time, the exception being that 2% of the time when truly difficult life events blindside us. I finally got a handle on my busyness when I studied it long enough to realize that, yes, my busyness was within my control. In fact, most of the time, I actually created hurry and worry where none actually existed. On any normal weekday, you would have found me running around begging family, business associates, and basically everyone nearby to move faster. If you don't finish eating, we're going to be late. If we don't get this task done in the next 10 minutes, we're never going to hit our target. The funny thing is, whether I provoked everyone around me to move faster or not, we always collectively moved at about the same pace anyway. But when I provoked them, everyone, including myself, was unhappier and more stressed out. It became crystal clear to me that nearly all of my busyness was an overreaction in my head. I was manufacturing it in hopes that it would create urgency in others and somehow make my life easier. Instead, it did the exact opposite. My busyness only created anxiety, bitterness, and complexity. And even on days when the busyness was real, lots of things to do, it was typically due to an overbooked schedule I had personally created. All of this got me thinking, why in the world am I voluntarily making my life harder, busier, and unhappier than it has to be? The reason and answer for constant busyness. Sadly, a big part of the reason we fill our lives with constant busyness has to do with the always plugged in, always connected, always sharing, always comparing society we live in. We subconsciously default to defining ourselves based on where we are and what we have in relation to everyone else. If we don't have a better career, house, car, or pair of shoes, we feel inferior. And the only way we can possibly do better and level up is to be busier doing whatever. After all, we are what we do, right? Job title, employer, etc. Aren't these typically the first things we share with strangers we meet at parties? We fill our social media feeds and our calendars with manufactured and airbrushed busyness to make ourselves feel special or more important than average. But in the process, we not only miss out on the serenity and beauty that exists within ourselves, but we also miss out on experiencing that same serenity and beauty in the world around us because our busyness has buried it with hurry and worry and the endless need to be somewhere else, doing something else as fast as feasibly possible. Ready for a positive change in your life? Join Angel and me. Let's wake up every morning together and begin our days mindfully with some quiet journaling and self-reflection. Let's start making our days less busy and more beneficial. Let's start keeping our lives ordered and our schedules underbooked. Let's start creating a foundation with a soft place to land, a wide margin for error, and room to think and breathe. So we can pause to hear the music and smile when the opportunity arises. You just listened to the post titled, "One Tragic Mistake Too Many People Make Every Single Day" by Marc Chernoff of marcandangel.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Huge savings on Dell AI PCs are here, and it's a big deal. Why? Because Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are newly designed to help you do more, faster. It's pretty amazing what they can do in a day's work. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations. They can even extend your battery life so you never have to worry about forgetting your charger. It's like having a personal assistant built right into your PC to cover the menial tasks so you can focus on what matters. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. With deals on Dell AI PCs like the Dell 16 Plus starting at $749.99, it's the perfect time to refresh your tech and take back your time. Upgrade your AI PC today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Thank you to Mark. Unfortunately, I can't say that I would have noticed Joshua Bell playing in the subway either. It's hard to say, but it's really easy to get caught up in our own heads and busyness. And it is an unfortunate thing, especially these days when it's so easy to be entertained with a supercomputer right in our hands pretty much all the time. And it's true, we often wear busyness like a badge of honor, even though it's causing stress. But how do we break the cycle? One small thing I think we can do is sort of bookend the day, meaning for the first 15 minutes after you wake up, no phone, no email, and no news. And same for 15 minutes before bed. It could be anything else, but not waking up or going to bed in a reactive state. And if that becomes normal or too easy, we can move to 30 minutes. Just a simple way to start and end the day with some presence. Let me know if you try it or what works for you. But I'll leave it there for today. Thank you for being here and listening to me and for subscribing to or following the show. And I'll be back tomorrow reading to you where your optimal life awaits.